Okay. So, hi everyone. I am Jigna Malvinkar. I am the founder of Bookaholics Book Club. And today we have Dr. Connie K Chung, and she is joined us to discuss about the book When We Thrive, Our World Thrives, Stories of Young People Growing Up with Adversity. So, thanks a lot, Dr. Connie, for joining us today. And uh, and uh, joining us today for this interview.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Yeah, and we also have Ravana, who is in this story. We will talk more about the stories and about this book. Thanks, Ravana, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm looking forward.
Thanks. So, okay. So to start and just give a brief introduction about this book and about, we'll start with you. I know the introduction which I know and mentioned in this book, that you have written, co-edited, contributed 6 books. You have numerous papers. You were a former high school teacher and a former foster parent. You are a former associate director of Harvard Graduate School of Education's Global Education Innovation Initiative. And you also have worked with young people since 1994. Wow. So there's so much to talk about yourself, and we will talk about you. And with you, I think Mr. Vishal Talreja, who is the co-founder of Dream, has also helped you, and he has contributed to complete and write this book. So I think let's get started, and I will just ask first the very foremost question. We would really like to hear from you about all the stories, the idea to write this book. But before that, we would like to know Dream a Dream.
Yeah, so maybe Ravana, you could talk a little bit about Dream a Dream. Could I just pass it off to you for that?
Yeah, sure. So Dreamy Dream is an NGO, so work for young people. So it started in 1999 with 12 volunteers who used to come and spend their weekends playing with children in the shelter home. So weekends they used to come, conduct many activities, do the reading program for us, all those sports event they used to conduct. So then Vishal Talreja is decided he wants to take it this as a professional and introduce a NGO. So in 2000, so he himself become one of the employee, and he started thinking about, so all the organization giving food, education, shelter, and basic need what children need. So what he was thinking what he can give more else. So then he come up with an idea. So instead of giving bread, let's teach them how to earn the bread, or how to the skills which required to earn the bread. So that will help children who are coming from vulnerable background will be able to overcome their poverty, overcome their adversity, and thrive in this fast changing world. So that's how organization started. So it's been 22 year. So reaching out many young people. So, every year we work with 10,000 young people using 2 innovation labs, Career Connect and After School program. So and also now uh, getting insight from Career Connect and After School Life Skill program. So we also started working with the teachers, helping teachers to become a caring and compassionate adult, so that teacher will be there in school system. They will be helping many more children to have life skills and thrive. Now also we are working with the system. We work with the Delhi government, introduced happiness curriculum. We are also working with Jharkhand government, introduced Ash Johar curriculum. Telangana, we are also working Parivartana curriculum. In Karnataka state, we are also working with introducing value-based and life skills curriculum. So it's overall helping children and teachers to reimagine the purpose of education to thrive.
Wow. I mean, I'm so, surprised, and I don't have any words, but thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for telling us all about Dream a Dream. When I was reading, I said that I myself will, ask instead of, I know I already read, but I wanted to know from you guys, and I really have no words. And all of you, your stories and everything is so amazing. So we will ask you more. So would you like to uh, add anything? So yeah, coming to my first question, that how, what would you really like? We would really like to hear the story and the idea to write this book.
Yeah, so I met Vishal when in I think 2016. I was then the associate director of the Global Education Innovation Initiative at Harvard. And we were visiting Delhi because Dream a Dream had been nominated by another Indian organization that they were leading in India in terms of the teacher professional development that Ravanna just talked about. So met Vishal for the first time in January, I guess exactly 7 years ago. We ended up writing a book that had a chapter about the teacher professional development from Dream a Dream. And then when I left Harvard, Vishal reached out to me and said, can we engage you as an individual to come and visit Bangalore, see the program, and then let's figure out something to do together. And by that time, Dream a Dream had been recognized by other organizations around the world about the work that they were doing. And when I came, and Ravanna actually was my guide through most of my time, taking me to see the schools and meet the young people who are currently in schools, but also the graduates. I was so inspired by the stories that I had heard about what they thought was impactful in terms of helping them overcome their vulnerable backgrounds and their backgrounds of adversity. And so it resonated a lot with me at that point because I was also about a year into fostering a young boy in the United States who came from a similarly vulnerable background. And so that it just kind of, different threads came together. And also what I saw was what Dream a Dream was doing was not just for youth with vulnerable backgrounds, but youth in general. So again, I've been working with young people for now almost 30 years. And some of the practices that Dream a Dream was doing very much resonated with what I had done, 20 years prior in California with my young students, between the ages of 16, at that time, 16 to 18. And then even when I was then a lecturer at Harvard and teaching graduate students, some of the techniques that they were using were some of the ones that I was using. So it really had kind of resonated philosophically with what Dream a Dream was doing, and then knew that we had research that supported why what Dream a Dream was doing was impactful. And then I also knew that it would have resonance outside of India. And so really wanted to tell the stories of, number one, young people in their voice. And then number two, really wanted to weave in research to say that this isn't just, stories from young people or just practices, but really rooted in scientific evidence. And then really share some practices from Dream a Dream so that those who are not researchers, but who are in the line of work of supporting young people could, have some practical takeaways to help them in their work. So the audience was young people, people who are working with our young people, researchers and policymakers to really expand and support and yeah, just kind of bring more attention to good practices in general.
Yeah. So that was really wonderful idea, because I don't think that, I'm really sorry, but I had never heard. But before, when I started reading this book, I was so intrigued to, just read more and to know, like, what is Dream a Dream, what does it does. So it was, I really, I was just waiting when I'll start to know more about that. But when you said that you all started it together with all uh, the people who were a part of Dream and Dream, but Definitely any book or any work, I mean, it comes with challenges. So did you face any challenges, and if yes, what were they?
Do you mean like in writing the book?
Yes, writing the book, getting the,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a much longer process than any one of us had thought. So we started out in January 2019 by my visiting Bangalore, and then I had got a job actually consulting at the OECD for about 6 months. So the project was on hold for about 6 months, and then when I restarted in December of 2019 and was about 2 months in and doing interviews online and had, we were talking about my returning to Bangalore to do more interviews and see more sites and all of this. And then the COVID happened. So all of the in-person, planning had to go to the side, and had to quickly shift to, doing WhatsApp interviews and interviews online. And so Dream staff became really invaluable, and Ravanna included. They were doing the translations, they were doing the transcriptions, and, organizing and arranging. So we went through about, I think officially 8 or 9 drafts of the book before
Wow.
we published it. Yeah. I have
That's
like on my folder, 8 or 9 drafts of all of the chapters, and we built it piece by piece. So I did
yes.
the interview, wrote an initial chapter, and then I had all these questions about, oh, we need some details to be filled in. And so we just kind of continually filled in the gaps to tell the stories as well as we could. And then we also included other Dream staff to make sure that what the young people were telling us was actually true. So we did some of that as well. And then, so yeah, so that was, and then finding a publisher was quite a challenge as well, because it was an unusual book. It's not an academic book, but it's
Exactly.
not also
Yes.
a regular book either. It's a very much, melding of a regular book with a academic bent to it. So we had some challenges finding a publisher, but NotionPress was wonderful to work with. I was quite pleased with how the layout came out, and then the ability to include, photos. So again, Dream staff were instrumental in finding the photos and selecting it, and really making, the stories come alive, I think, by visually seeing the photos. And then young people's willingness to share their stories was quite key to the project as well. So I would say I learned a lot. It was very much teamwork to make the book come alive with Dream a Dream. And it took a lot of, overcoming adversity to make it work. But because, everybody was so, quite practiced and so resilient, and so creative too, in how we went about this book, it really was quite a pleasure, even though it was a 3+ year long process to bring
Okay.
it together.
Yeah, I can just get it from the size of the book that it really took, and all the stories which you have included. And as you said, like, yeah, I actually read the book. You have not only covered the stories, but you have researched, you have all the data, and I think you have forwards, and you have even the reviews from just a minute. Yeah, from Manish Sosodia, who was a deputy chief minister, education minister, and I think Shahin Mistry, who is the co-founder, who is the CEO and founder trustee of Teach for India. So I know, like, you have places, you have included lot many things, the data and everything from the. So it is really nice to see, because I know that a lot of research has been done, and so this like, it's so, I mean, so detailed. I think even if I Google, I won't find so, like, crisp data. I really love that. So coming back to the stories, how I mean, I know there are a lot of children's, but the first few stories where Ravana is there, the first story of Prasanna and Sukanya, so those stories I understood that, but all the other stories which are there, how didn't you find it difficult to include only the 21, uh, because there would be so many other whom you would have thought that, there are more stories to include. So how was that selected, and how tough it was? to just, stick to those 21?
Yeah, so it is, because every single person who I think has Dream a Dream has worked with probably can be included into the book as well. But I took a researcher approach to the selection process. So in research, we try to make as few a selection as possible to cover the widest range of people. So as I was listening in that initial visit to Bangalore, and as I got to know Dream a Dream, I realized there were, as Ravanna said in his introduction of Dream a Dream, there's two really core components to it: the Career Connect Center and the After School Life Skills program. And so 10 of the stories, I think, approximately represent the After School Life Skills program. 10 of the stories represent the Career Connect Center, to kind of give an overview. And then I also asked for, almost equal number of young men and young women, because gender is also quite a thread in the book as well, as something to discuss, and gender equity, something that Dream a Dream has been working on for a while. And then I also asked for different backgrounds, so different religious backgrounds, different even trajectories of youth who have gone on to college and youth who've chosen to work. Again, to kind of make sure that we cover the breadth, as much of the breadth of the types of young people who come into to Dream a Dream, and then specific age ranges as well. And quite a few of them ended up being actually staff of Dream a Dream as well. So that gave an additional richness to the stories, because then the book also became not just the stories of young people, but stories of Dream a Dream and how it grew over the years as it incorporated and gave power to the people that they served. So they didn't just, have Ravanna be a program participant, but they brought him as a facilitator, and then really invested into developing Ravanna as a leader within the organization. So he's now one of the key leaders of the organization. And I think Dream a Dream has been really successful because they were able to kind of listen and then change in response to what people like Ravanna was suggesting. So Ravanna, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about how that was like for you. And I know in your story,
I have next question for him. Yeah.
Great.
So I will just add him. Yeah. So Ravanna, definitely we want to know about the story. I know you don't want to disclose it all, but if you can tell us your bit of a journey and how you got into Dream a Dream, and what Dr. Connie, she says. Can you unmute? Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
So, yeah, a small story. I basically ran away from my village because I decided that education system is not for me. So till third grade, I was in my village. The punishment they used to give instead of the support, it was told me that the education system is not for me. So I came instead of job, but fortunately I was rescued from one of the organization, Bosco. I stayed there. Vishal volunteer used to come and do the program. So they used to do a lot of sports program. Sports was my favorite. So to I started to going to school because of sports only. So it gave me a lot of identity recognition. So that made me to continue my education and stay there. So while going and experiencing the way they show caring and compassion, Vishal and team helped me. So such a kind of things required the children who are coming from the difficult background, especially when I was in shelter home. We used to get everything, but that freedom, that it's okay if you fail, also no problem. So those words we never used to take it, never used to earn from any adult. So the Dream a Dream program really used to give that trust on us, the safety for us, the safe space they used to create. Even though I tried so 4 sports: cricket, basketball, hockey, table tennis. So I didn't select it. Even though if I go and meet the person Vishal, he never scolded me, never blamed me. Okay, you try another program. You try another program. Those kind of appreciation are really needed for the children, even if they score less marks or they are say max is not important, science is not interested, or language is not interested. So
Yes.
when the children's hear, yes, you continue what the wish you wanted to do, those
Yes.
approaches really helps the young people to decide what they wanted to do it. The the even the insight what I had, the things what we really like, whatever difficulties, we will 100% put our effort and do that work. If
Right.
we not like it or not interested, whatever it is easy, we never going to try. So that's what's there. And Dream Dream 3, 4 big ideas really touched me. So everyone has a valid desire to be seen and heard. So it means they need to be appreciated, they need to be heard their voice. So those approach really helped me. Uh, in my community, I wanted to take it this, and I came into Dreamy Dream, and I joined as a employee. So then the children who I used to work, they came into a organization. They started to program. So kind of ripple effect was there in the
Yes.
community.
Right.
So that's how we started operating. So now both the program, Innovation Lab and after Innovation Lab and the system demonstration. So we are the people who was beneficiaries now heading the program. So that
Wow.
is bringing more values to think. We also believe that when we empowered with life skills, we can help others to develop life skills in others. So with these
Absolutely.
ideas,
Yes.
uh, yeah, there were many children gone through the program. It was very difficult to select, since Connie helped us to bring that. Now we are also talking about inclusive, dignity, and equity. So in that, so how can we take the experience, the thought leadership, and also the insights what sitting with Dreamy Dream to the world, because so many people, organizations are looking for the solution. So in those contexts, and also keeping these three values, dignity, equity, uh, all those things. So we wanted to give an insight on that lens. Connie helped us to. Actually, we selected 60 children. Then we came to 40. Then we came to 20. So it was a lot of filterization. So we are also acknowledge every story is unique and uh, respected
Exactly.
individually. And also, if you see the book, so it's they not change anything. It's our own story, our own word. So each
Right.
word we read and we felt it's the voice of the children should not be changed. We don't want to make it look good or bad. That is the authenticity what we can
Yes.
see in the thing. And also in 3 years there was a three different research. All the information box, year one there was a new information, year two again updated version, year three the finally when the book come. So we were giving that authenticity and the real data which
Mhm.
had value. All the stakeholder to read and understand why it's important to give life skills, help children not only literacy and numeracy, also the life skills, the
Life skill.
values, the qualities
Yes.
what required.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally get it. I mean, so I was just going through your chapter, and I read that you had been selected as a young leader, and you had represented FIFA World Cup in 2014 in Brazil. So how did it feel?
So it was a dream come true for me because I used to go for swimming practices. So while I going for swimming for Karnataka, I had a dream that I want to bring a gold medal for young people for India
Okay.
in the Olympic. That dream somewhere, yes, no, it was happening. So some unfortunate support system kind of I stopped swimming. But when I came back to Dreamy Dream, I had opportunity to represent Dreamy Dream and India in FIFA World Cup during the Football for Hope festival. So that time we have taken the children along with me, and we given the best performance, and also we show the cultural performance. So we did the skit there, so
Wow.
bringing all the three religion together and making we are one. So we are unique. So even the diversity we bring the oneness. So that's the message was given. And also my biggest highlight there is I had a chance to lead Indian flag. It is only few people which gets the
Yeah.
opportunity to lead the flag. So I
Yes.
was the flag a leader.
That
That
web.
was
Yeah.
amazing. I never dreamed that I will be leading the flag with the 48 other countries. So that was amazing. No words to explain. So I proudly felt that coming from underprivileged, I earned that privilegeness, what I feel.
Oh my God. I mean, I am actually feeling, I mean, I read your, but now when you are speaking to you, I feel that I should talk to everyone, all the, I mean, and hear their stories. I mean, that's so amazing. Thank you. Thanks, Ravana. So I have some question to Dr. Coney, and yeah, I mean, now I can understand how difficult it must be for you. I mean, even after researching and selecting only few people, but absolutely. So, um, how was the response when you approached all of them and you told them that you are writing this book and their stories will be published? How was the response from all of them? All, I mean, all of them are the protagonist of your book, so they are the leads, they are the leaders. Yeah, so
Yeah, so that it was Dreamy Dream facilitated the initial connection, right, with the young people. And then when I asked them, my questions for the interview, they were quite vulnerable and quite courageous and quite forthright in sharing their stories. So there was that first initial round of just getting to know them, and I did a couple of I think I did at least 2 interviews with every single person. So a first round and then a second round. And then after I wrote the stories, we sent them out to our young people and said, could you read and make sure that we are representing you correctly, that, you are sharing exactly how much you want to share, not less and not more, because it is very vulnerable to be able to talk about the challenges that they had gone through. And some of them even talk about their family background. So I really wanted to be responsible and sensitive as a researcher. We have a whole protocol around, how do we do this in a way that is not harmful to the people that we're working with? So we made sure, and Vishal made sure, and Rebecca made sure, and the staff made sure that, even after they did an interview with me, and after we wrote the stories, that everybody was comfortable with sharing their stories. And there's a key quote from Prasanna, who is the first story in the book. And it's a story that I share with everybody when I talk about the book, about asking him, why do you want to share your story with the world? And he said, basically, I want to be able to show the world that people from backgrounds of adversity, including my family, have dignity and have the ability to thrive. And it resonated with me because, again, when I was fostering my boy in the United States, he faced similar kinds of prejudice, and I would say stigma and underestimation of what people from backgrounds of adversity can or cannot do. And I know that resonated with me as one of the purposes for why I spent so much time on this book, was really wanted to show it's actually our limitations and our kind of prejudices that limit our young people from backgrounds of adversity to thrive if we underestimate them. And so please let these 20 stories show, right, what they're capable of doing, and how much our communities benefit from their leadership when we're able to support them. And so again, all the way throughout, right up until we published the book, including the photographs. The photographs were approved by our young people included in the story, to again make sure that they felt comfortable with it. And you'll see that in a couple of the stories there was a name change because they wanted to protect their privacy, and we really respected that. And there are also a couple of chapters in the book where there are no photos, because again, that was the choice of the young person. And I really, as a person of integrity and as a researcher who really wanted to, not exploit the stories, but really give control of the stories to the people in the book, really wanted to respect their choice to do that. So I was actually really glad that we have stories and chapters where names were changed and where photographs are not shared, because it really shows the authenticity of our work. We're not doing it to showcase, my writing ability. We're not doing this to showcase Dream a Dream. It really is to honor and respect the journeys that our young people have been through. So really, again, really happy about the way that we were able to do that throughout the entire process.
So we talked a lot about the book, and we like how did it came out and everything, like, but I would like to know that what type of audiences were you targeting, or what was your mind when you thought that you will publish this book? Like, what exactly are the audiences?
Yeah, I think first and foremost would be young people who might read this and be inspired by stories of other young people. Because so many times we don't speak about the challenges that we face, right? And so we think it's our problem, that maybe our family is ignoring me, or I'm having a hard time in the school system. Maybe I'm a bad student, maybe I'm a bad daughter or a bad son. But these stories show that there's actually, shared challenges across the board. And so we're really hoping that it would inspire and give hope to young people who might be, still suffering the challenges, but have not yet connected with an organization like Dream a Dream. So that was priority number one. Priority number two were the people who help our young people, who are supporting young people. So give them concrete strategies, and then also really with the stories show what happens 20 years after you help them. So, again, as a former teacher who was only able to see, for the most part, students for a year or so, right? And I don't necessarily get the privilege to see how their lives turned out. We really wanted to also encourage and inspire the supporters to say, even if you encounter a young person for 3 months, if those 3 months you give them unconditional, non-judgmental support and care, they're going to be remembering that and telling stories about that 20 years from now. And so really wanted to show them. And then policymakers and funders and other leaders in the ecosystem who are able to then make changes. So teachers and principals and district leaders and ministers of education who can then identify and support these types of programs all over the world, and to really, shift the discussion about how important it is to support the young people in this way. And then one of the things that Vishal says in his afterword is, Dream a Dream is shifting to say that this is not enough. We really need to change our own mindsets, and we
Yes.
really need to change systems to be able to support that work. So that's again I would say a third audience for this book, and parents, right? I mean, just kind of the general public, and about our approach to the way that we view young people as well.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe this is any one of you can answer, Ravana or Dr. Connie. So right now, Dream a Dream is in Bangalore, and you are maybe expanding, as you said initially, to Jharkhand and where else? So how do you, like, how do you approach, like, the kids come to Dream a Dream, or how is the process? Like, you guys go and find out the kids around.
I can start and then hand off to Ravana, because that would from what I know, and this might be outdated, 10,000 direct service to young people every year through their programs. And then, but their way of kind of reaching millions is through working with state government. So I'll hand off to Ravana to talk about that broader reach.
So we have three approaches. One is direct intervention that's happening in Bangalore. So we have 2 innovation lab and also 25 partner schools where we go and deliver our interventions. So that's the direct delivery. And also we have another approach which we use, system demonstration. So Delhi is the one of the example. So where we work directly with the system leaders, as Connie mentioned, principals, head of the aids, policymakers, or with all the ministers, to include life skills approach in the school system. That's the second approach, working with the system demonstration, work with entire ecosystem who are connect to young people, training them, building life skills in them, and helping them to reimagine the curriculums, which help young people to have life skills like communication, decision making, understanding themselves, regulating their emotions. So all
Yes.
those skills we focus with a curriculum. We build them. That's third approach. We have a building the field, or we can call weaving group. That's also uh, our book comes. We do research, and also we build the narration, and also working with direct delivery and system demonstration. We create a research and insight to policymakers or other decision makers who can influence and make the policy. These are the three approach which we use to bring or reimagine the purpose of education to help young people to thrive.
Wow. I mean, I know I can go endless, but we do have time constraint, and I really don't want this to end. But given to, I mean, I cannot cover. I have few more questions. I mean, definitely we will. I don't know if whenever you guys have time, I definitely would like to chit chat with you guys, because I still have so many questions. I mean, I can just quickly tell anyone, you can answer, Ravana. So I read one of the stories, I don't remember that. I think any volunteers from Dream a Dream, they were giving, I mean, some food or something, and that girl, she asked that is it for free or how much we have to pay. So she said that we have to pay wherever they go. So that was something. I mean, so I mean, I don't want to, but in the government schools or something where we know that the food is free, but yet childrens have to pay, and here they're getting free. So that all stories really touched, like, do you want to add something, Ravana? Anything on that? I think that is fifth story after you, I think.
I think, yeah, all our programs are free of cost. We are not going to charge for young people, especially we provide all the things which is required for them. And also,
Okay.
if they ask what specific things they need, so we will raise the fund for that. Even it is a small thing or big thing, so it's a free of cost. That's how we kind of helping the children, especially the children who are coming from vulnerable background. They have a talent but they don't have an opportunity, so
Yes.
they have a desire. They want to eat good food, or they want to have a good dress, or they wanted to go and see the different places, but they, since their economical problem background, they are not able to fulfill that one. So since that's one of the incident which we introduce refreshment for our children. So we used to do all our programs, especially in after school program, we call after school program because it
Yes.
happens after the school hours. The children will spend extra 2 hours with us. So there we had that children feeling hungry, so they couldn't express,
Right.
because after school they can go eat something in home. In some school there will be no food at home, so
Right.
we decided that the children asked we are feeling hungry, so we introduced, okay, let's have some refreshment for children
Wow.
after the session. So that's how it helped. So when we started introducing, the children started getting a nutrition food also. So since they couldn't able to, the parents could not able to offer nutrition food, we
Right.
also consider that it all, if we seeing a child to have holistical development, it's not only enough giving them mental support or physical support. We also felt that nutrition support also important. uh, that's why we introduced mentoring program. There we see children will thrive when they receive love and care along with nutrition. So, caring and compassionate people can help children to have that desire what they wish to have. So, in those lens, things are free. The children deserve to be receive those things.
My heart is so filled now. I mean, I don't have anything to express. So before I ask Connie, before so to you, Uh, I know you have your story here, but apart from you, which is your favorite story in this book or favorite person?
All 60 are my favorite.
Okay, so
So another thing, I think more than five, six, my students are there in the story, which
okay.
I contributed all 20 stories here and there in their life journey, being friend or mentor or coach or facilitator. But all are my favorite. I can't choose one. It was very difficult me to come from 40 to 20.
Okay, and yeah, what about you, Dr. Connie? Before we leave, any
Yeah,
of
I
your
think I think the story of Dream a Dream is my favorite. Again, what Ravenna just said about how he was not only a program recipient, but also a program provider to
yes,
other young people in the story. And they mention him as a mentor in different parts of it. And for me, that's the beauty of Dream a Dream is, again, it's not a lone hero acting, but just their ability to open and transform themselves as an organization and continually, evolve and grow to become more equitable, to practice, what they are trying to preach. Because, equity and dignity and inclusion are, high and lofty goals that we're all trying to reach.
yes,
But what I was very impressed is the story of Dream a Dream really working to reach those goals. And I think that provided a modeling for the young people in the stories. And I think the young people are who they are because they saw people like Vishal and Ravana and Sucheta and other leaders in the organization practice what they were trying to preach. So that to me was the most kind of moving and yeah, and kind of my favorite part of the book or the story as well.
yeah. Actually, I think I like all these stories, but the first story, because I was an outsider, and the way you have started with Prasanna's story, actually that itself touched my heart because sorry, yeah, because that was the starting. So we as a readers, or I could just, I mean, I was able to know that what I will be looking forward for all other stories, what kind of, it might be different, but his story itself was very impactful. And uh, and again with Sukanya, so it was I never expected, okay, she was her childhood, and they both got married, and they have a child. So definitely, they know that they have came out of where they were, and they can help to create the change. So those two stories were like, I mean, I and then I could not stop. I mean,
Right.
I just went on reading all the stories. I actually completed in 2 days. I never
Oh
knew
my
it
God.
would be. I mean, I was traveling, and I almost completed half the book, like almost in 3 hours. Like, I was so eager to know what next, what next. And actually, when I read Ravana's story, I was surprised that, oh, he went to Brazil. Okay, I was like, I mean, it is like anyone, like not you, but any middle class, or it's a dream come true, because no one will think that, uh, though it's very very easy nowadays to travel, but yeah, there are a lot of challenges. So I as I read these stories, I myself actually felt good, because lot of the people or the children who are actually from even good families, I mean, they also do not benefit like what Dream a Dream actually gives them. The after school, all the sports, it's actually lacking everywhere, I feel. Like, nowadays, I mean, I don't want to like bring in the between, but the reason I started Bookaholics book community, because I used to see that everyone is in mobile, wasting time, and at least people have stopped reading books. So that is why I thought that, no, I should start something. People should read book. No, there are a lot many books where you can know about lot many things. So or you can't just Google and find it out. People do research, people write books. So And this book is really amazing. I mean, one of my uh, first book in 2023, and I'm so happy I started with this. And I know I spoke a lot, but
No, but that was perfect. It was music to my ears. I was like, oh my gosh, the whole time I was writing it, is anybody going to care? Is anybody going to respond? Will they feel what I felt when I, heard the stories from young people was kind of my concern as I was writing it. So what you just said was music to my ears. And Processing the Story was the first one that I heard when I got to Dream a Dream. And so, I knew we needed to start with that story.
yeah,
But
I
again, all the other stories are equally wonderful and equally amazing, and just kind of talks about the depth and the breadth of the work. So yeah, thank you from an author's heart, from a writer's heart, who always has anxiety about, is this good enough? Is this of any good? It's really good to your response is exactly what I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll definitely put out once we finish this, and I will upload it maybe by next week, and
Okay.
I'll put out the review as well. So let it reach to more people through our medium.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
hope people pick up this book and at least start reading. And yeah, so before we go, one last thing, anything, Dr. Coney, you want to tell?
No, I want to, again, as a former English teacher who loves books and really wants everybody to read more, because I know that the videos and TikTok and whatnot are popular, but there's, a depth to what we can learn from books. So just want to thank you for starting the Bookaholics Book Club. And if there are ways that we can support you in that, please let us know. I know Dream a Dream will also support as well. So yeah, again, thank you for having the initiative to start that, and your dream, which is to have more young people read, I think is a wonderful one. So thank you.
Thank you. And to you, Ravana, anything last before we end the interview? I know this will not be last, but we will keep on talking. But yeah, for the interview.
So just thank you for taking time talking to us. It was really nice. I feel Koni mentioned only two people. It also from the beneficiary part also. So all children are so excited when we launched the book. They were said if it is going to help the other people, it will be really nice. So hearing from you, it's made me my day. Thank you so much for that, and congratulations, all the best.
Thank you. And next time when I'm coming to Bangalore, I definitely look forward to meeting you guys. I to Ravana. So thank you guys. It was wonderful having you both here. I wish Vishal could have been here. So it would have been a definitely 40 minutes were less. I think we almost are now almost 1 hour. So I think we could have nearly crossed 2 hours. I can keep on talking, but thanks a lot for coming here, talking to us on Bookaholics. And I just can't wait and upload this interview online for every one of them to just see what you guys have to show in the book. So signing off, and all of you out there, audience, do read, pick up this book, and give your reviews. When we thrive, our world thrives. So definitely a book to pick up and read on in this year 2023. Thank you and bye.